If you cannot rule your thoughts, someone else will. If you cannot master your cravings, your life will belong to them. Most people drift through their days chained to reaction, enslaved by emotion. But what if you could rise each morning unmoved? For 30 days, test your soul, restrain your tongue, tame your habits, command your body. This is not about suppression. It's about sovereignty. It's about taking back what is already yours, your mind, your choices, your life. No excuses. No compromise, only strength. Subscribe to our channel if you're ready to master your mind, and tell us, where are you watching from? Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has been known by every great leader and warrior throughout history. Your mind is not just a part of you, it is the cornerstone of your existence. And right now, at this very moment, it's either working for you or against you. There is no middle ground. I am Marcus Aurelius, and I've commanded armies, ruled an empire, but my greatest battles were always fought in the silence of my own thoughts. The same will be true for you. Here's what most people don't understand. Every action, every habit, every life-altering decision begins not with movement, but with a single thought. That fleeting moment, that spark in your mind, this is where mastery lives. This is where control is born or lost. Think about your last moment of weakness, that extra hour of sleep when you should have risen, that burst of anger that escaped your lips, that task you postponed yet again. Did these actions simply happen to you? No. They began with a thought you failed to catch, a mental spark you allowed to become a flame. But let me ask you this. What if you could catch that spark? What if you could master that microscopic moment between stimulus and response? This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is tactical warfare for the mind. The process is simple, but few have the courage to attempt it. Start with this. For the next hour, watch your thoughts as a general watches his troops. Don't judge them, don't fight them. Simply observe their movements. Notice how they try to pull you in different directions. See how they attempt to disturb your peace. Most people live their entire lives never realizing that thoughts are not commands. They are proposals. You don't have to accept them. When a thought of worry enters, you don't have to entertain it. When a thought of fear whispers, you don't have to believe it. When a thought of doubt creeps in, you don't have to embrace it. This is the first key to self-control, understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the gatekeeper. Here's your first tactical assignment. Tomorrow morning, catch one reactive thought before it becomes action, just one. When you feel the urge to check your phone upon waking, pause. When you want to skip your morning routine, pause. When you're about to respond to that email with emotion, pause. In that pause, ask yourself, is this thought serving my growth or is it serving my weakness? This question is your weapon. Use it. Remember, the untrained mind is like a city without walls, vulnerable to every invading impulse, every passing distraction. But with practice, you build fortifications. You establish checkpoints. You create a system of mental defense that becomes automatic. You might be thinking, but Marcus, my thoughts are too fast, too numerous to control. I hear this excuse often, but consider this. Would you allow an untrained soldier to guard your home? Would you let an undisciplined general command your army? Then why would you allow untrained thoughts to command your life? The path to mental sovereignty begins with small victories. One thought caught, one impulse redirected, one moment of clarity preserved. This is how empires of the mind are built, brick by brick, thought by thought. Let me be clear. This is not about suppression. This is not about forcing your mind into submission. This is about cultivation, about training, about building a mind that serves your highest purpose rather than your lowest impulses. As you progress through these 30 days, you'll face resistance. Your old patterns of thinking will fight back. They'll try to convince you that control is impossible, that you're better off surrendering to whatever thoughts float through your consciousness. This resistance is not your enemy, it's your training ground. Each moment of mental challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your command. Each impulse is a chance to practice sovereignty. Remember this: the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, not by your circumstances, not by other people's actions, but by the thoughts you choose to entertain and the thoughts you choose to dismiss. Tomorrow, when you wake up, your first battle begins. Your mission is simple but crucial. Catch that first reactive thought. Observe it. Question it. Then choose your response with intention. This is where it all starts. This is where you begin. To take back control, not through force, but through awareness, not through suppression, but through conscious choice. Your mind is your command center. It's time you started commanding it. Let us speak now of desire, that relentless force that rules the lives of the undisciplined. I have watched countless men and women, noble in intention, crumble before its persistence. But you will be different. Here's what most people don't understand. Desire is not your enemy. It is simply a force like wind or water. Left unchecked, it can destroy everything in its path. But properly channeled, it becomes a source of immense power. Think of your last impulsive decision. Perhaps it was reaching for your phone when you should have been working. Maybe it was speaking words you later regretted, or consuming something you knew would weaken you. In each case, you weren't defeated by some great external force. You were defeated by a simple impulse, a momentary urge that you allowed to become your master. But let me ask you this: what if every impulse was not a command, but an opportunity? An opportunity to strengthen your will, an opportunity to prove who is truly in control. The method I'm about to share with you is ancient, yet few in your modern world practice it. It begins with a simple rule: delay every impulse by 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. This tiny gap, this microscopic pause, is where your power begins to grow. When you feel the urge to check social media, pause. When you want to interrupt someone speaking, pause. When you're about to abandon your important work for some trivial distraction, pause. In that pause, ask yourself, is this impulse worthy of my submission? Most people live their entire lives as servants to their impulses. They mistake freedom for the ability to act on every urge, but true freedom, true power, lies in the ability to say no, to stand firm when impulse demands. Surrender. Here is your tactical assignment for today. Choose one common impulse, something that typically controls you, and delay it. Not forever, not even for an hour, just 30 seconds. Do this not once, but every time this impulse arises. What you'll discover is profound. Most impulses lose their power in the waiting. They're like waves that crash against a cliff, fierce for a moment, then dissipating into foam. Your job is to be the cliff, unmoved, unshaken, present. I can hear some of you now. But Marcus, these impulses are too strong. They overwhelm me before I can even think. This is the voice of someone who has never truly trained their will. Would you expect to lift heavy weights without training your muscles? Then why expect to resist powerful impulses without training your will? The key is this: start small. Don't try to conquer every impulse at once. Choose one, master it, then move to the next. This is how discipline is built, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent victories. Consider this: every time you delay an impulse, you're not just avoiding a momentary pleasure. You're building a fortress of self-control. You're developing a power that will serve you in every area of life. Your relationships will improve because you'll speak with intention rather than impulse. Your work will advance because you'll stay focused when others succumb to distraction. Your health will flourish because you'll eat and move by design rather than by urge. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about becoming rigid or joyless. It's about becoming sovereign, about choosing your actions rather than being chosen by them, about living with intention rather than reaction. As you progress through these 30 days, you'll face moments of doubt, times when the old patterns seem easier, more natural. This is normal. This is part of the training. Each moment of resistance is like a rep in the gymnasium of the will. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who cannot govern their impulses will always be governed by them. There is no middle ground, no compromise. Either you command your impulses or they command you. Tomorrow your task begins. Choose your impulse. Set your 30-second rule. And watch as the power of delay transforms simple resistance into lasting strength. This is not about perfection. It's about progress, about building a will strong enough to support your highest aspirations. Because in the end, the quality of your life will be determined not by what you can acquire, but by what you can resist. Stand firm. Stay strong. The impulse may knock at your door, but you decide whether to answer. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has echoed through centuries. Your body is not just a vessel. It is your first and most fundamental territory of command. If you cannot govern this domain, all other aspirations of control are mere fantasy. Here's what most people don't understand. Your physical form is not separate from your mind. They are one system, one empire, and the state of one directly influences the power of the other. I learned this not in the halls of philosophy, but on the battlefield, and in the quiet hours before dawn. When your body speaks of fatigue, who decides whether to continue or surrender? When your flesh craves comfort, who chooses whether to embrace the hard path or the easy one? These are not merely physical decisions, they are declarations of sovereignty. But let me ask you this. How can you expect to command armies if you cannot command your own rising? How can you lead others if you cannot lead your own flesh through discomfort? The method I'm about to share with you is simple in concept, but profound in impact. Begin with this. Every morning, rise at the same hour, regardless of desire. Not when your body feels ready, not when the warmth of your bed beckons you to linger. Rise when you have decided to rise, not when comfort permits it. This is not about torture. It is about authority. About establishing in the first moments of each day who is in command. Your body may protest. It may plead for 5 more minutes. In these moments, remember, every negotiation with weakness is a surrender of power. Here is your tactical assignment. Choose one physical discipline to practice daily. Perhaps it's holding a plank position for longer than comfort allows. Maybe it's taking your morning shower with cold water or walking when you could ride. The specific challenge matters less than the principle. Your body must learn to obey. Most people live as servants to physical comfort. They eat when they're not hungry. They rest when they're not tired. They move only when necessary. This is existence, not command. This is drift, not direction. Consider this. Every time you override a physical impulse for comfort, you're not just training your body. You're strengthening the connection between decision and action, between command and execution. This is how empires are built, how battles are won, how greatness is forged. I can hear the objections forming, but Marcus, my body is different. My circumstances are unique. I've heard every excuse the mind can craft, but consider this. Is your body so different from those who've achieved what you seek? Or is it well, that differs. The key to physical mastery is this. Start where you are, but never stay there. If you can hold discomfort for 10 seconds, make it 15. If you can resist comfort for an hour, extend it to 2. This is not about punishment. It's about progression, about expanding the territory of your command. Your body will resist this new authority. It will generate excuses, manifest fatigue, create urgent distractions. Recognize these for what they are, tests of your resolve. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your command. Remember this, the body is an excellent servant, but a terrible master. When you allow physical comfort to guide your decisions, you've surrendered leadership to the Elia. This is a reversal of natural order, a recipe for mediocrity. As these 30 days progress, you'll discover something remarkable. Physical discipline creates mental clarity. Command of the body strengthens command of thought. They rise or fall together, these twin pillars of personal sovereignty. Here's your daily protocol. Before you check your phone, before you engage with the world's demands, complete your chosen physical discipline. Make this non-negotiable. This is not about fitness. It's about establishing command. Some days, your body will feel heavy, resistant. These are the most important days. Because discipline isn't tested in moments of energy and motivation. It's forged in moments of resistance and fatigue. Let me be absolutely clear. This is not about becoming an athlete or a warrior. This is about becoming a sovereign over your own domain, about ensuring that your physical form serves your higher purpose rather than undermining it. Tomorrow when you rise, remember, your body is your first battlefield. Every command you issue, every impulse you override, every moment of discomfort you embrace, these are not just physical acts. They are declarations of authority. You are not a victim of your physical form. You are its commander, its governor, its emperor. It's time you started acting like one. Stand tall, stay strong. Your body may resist change, but you decide what changes. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share, because this distinction has determined the fate of empires. There is a world of difference between reaction and response. Reaction is the path of the slave. Response is the way of the emperor. Here's what most people don't understand. In the space between event and action lies your entire kingdom of power. This gap, this precious moment of choice, is where masters are made and slaves are born. Most never even know it exists. Think of your last emotional reaction. Perhaps someone criticized your work. Maybe they challenged your authority or questioned your judgment. In that moment, did you choose your response or did your response choose you? But let me ask you this. What if every provocation was not a threat to your peace, but an opportunity to demonstrate your mastery? What if every trigger was actually a test? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and immediate. It begins with a simple practice. When faced with any triggering event, count to 3, not 1, not 2. 3 full seconds. In this tiny eternity, you reclaim your power to choose. This is not about suppression. This is not about becoming an emotionless statue. This is about sovereignty, about ensuring that your actions emerge from choice rather than compulsion. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify your most common emotional trigger. Perhaps it's being interrupted. Maybe it's feeling disrespected or hearing certain opinions that inflame you. When this trigger appears, and it will appear, implement the 3-second rule. No exceptions. In those 3 seconds, ask yourself, is my reaction serving my empire, or is it serving my enemy? Because make no mistake, any response that emerges from pure emotion is a victory for those who would see you lose control. Most people live their entire lives as emotional puppets, their strings pulled by every passing provocation. They mistake this reactivity for authenticity. They call it being real or being honest. But I tell you this, there is nothing authentic about being a slave to your triggers. Consider this, every time you react without choosing, you're not just having an emotional moment. You're reinforcing a pattern of surrender. You're training yourself to be predictable, manipulatable, weak. I can hear the protests. But Marcus, you don't understand how provocative these situations are, how personal these attacks feel. I understand perfectly. I ruled an empire where every day brought new threats, new challenges to my authority, new reasons to react. But I learned this truth. The more personal the attack seems, the more impersonal your response must be. The key to mastering response, overreaction, is this. Develop your inner observer. Become the witness to your own emotional weather. Watch how feelings arise, peak, and dissipate, all while you remain steady, like a mountain watching clouds pass. Your emotions will still arise. This is natural, but they will no longer command your actions. They will inform, but not rule, suggest, but not decide. This is the true meaning of emotional intelligence. As you progress through these 30 days, you'll face countless opportunities to react. Each one is a gift, a chance to strengthen your command, to prove your sovereignty. Don't waste these moments by giving in to the old patterns. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can respond rather than react holds immense power. They become impossible to manipulate, difficult to provoke. Their actions emerge not from emotional compulsion, but from strategic choice. Here's your daily protocol. In every triggering situation, implement the 3-second rule. Use this time to ask, what would the person I aspire to be do in this moment? Then act from that vision, not from the heat of emotion. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about becoming deliberate, about ensuring that your emotions enrich your life rather than rule it, about responding with wisdom rather than reacting from wound. Tomorrow, when the first trigger appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not your reactions. You are your responses. Your power lies not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to handle what happens. Stand firm in that space between stimulus and response. This is your territory, your domain of power. Guard it well. The world may provoke, but you decide whether to be provoked. The world may push, but you choose whether to be moved. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has been known by every great strategist throughout history. Silence is not the absence of power. It is power itself. The person who has mastered silence has mastered the art of strategic advantage. Here's what most people don't understand. Every word you speak is a choice. Every silence you maintain is a position of strength. In my years as emperor, I learned that the most powerful statements were often the ones left unsaid. Think about your last conversation. How many words did you speak out of necessity and how many out of habit? How many times did you fill the air with sound simply because silence made you uncomfortable? But let me ask you this. What if every moment of silence was not a void to be filled, but a weapon to be wielded? What if your power grew not by what you said, but by what you chose to withhold? The method I'm about to share with you is simple, yet profound. For the next 24 hours, speak only when these 3 conditions are met. Your words must be true, they must be necessary, and they must improve upon silence. This is not a suggestion. This is your tactical directive. Most people speak from weakness, to be liked, to be noticed, to fill the void. They leak power through endless words like a vessel with 1,000 holes. But you will be different. You will speak from strength, from purpose, from strategic necessity. Here is your first assignment. In your next 3 conversations, cut your usual words in half. No explanations, no apologies. Simply increase the weight of your silence. Watch how others react. Notice how they fill the space you create. Consider this. Every word you speak is a card revealed from your hand. Every silence maintained is an advantage preserved. The person who speaks first in a negotiation often speaks from weakness. The one who can hold silence holds the power of uncertainty. I can hear the objections forming, but Marcus won't silence. Make me seem weak, unsure, incompetent. These are the fears of those who have never known true strength. The lion doesn't roar to prove its power. It roars only when roaring serves a purpose. The key to mastering strategic silence is this. Start with small moments. When someone offers an opinion, resist the urge to immediately agree or disagree. When a question is posed to a group, wait 3 beats before considering whether to respond. When criticism comes, let it hang in the air before deciding if it deserves your words. Your silence will make others uncomfortable. Good. Let them reveal themselves. Let them expose their positions while you maintain yours. This is not manipulation. This is strategy. As these 30 days progress, you'll discover something remarkable. The less you speak, the more weight your words carry, the more you embrace. Silence, the more others will value your voice. This is the paradox of power. It grows through conservation, not expenditure. Remember this: the person who can sit comfortably in silence has an advantage over the one who must fill every moment with sound. In silence you can observe. In silence you can strategize. In silence you can master yourself and the situation. Here's your daily protocol. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this the moment? Are these the words? If doubt exists on any of these questions, maintain your silence. Your power grows in the unsaid. Some will try to bait you into speech. They will mistake your silence for weakness, your restraint for fear. Let them. The true master knows that misconception is often the greatest advantage. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about becoming mute or antisocial. It's about becoming precise, deliberate, strategic, about ensuring that when you do speak, your words carry the full weight of your authority. Tomorrow, when you enter your first conversation, remember you are not obligated to respond to every statement. You are not required to fill every silence. You are not compelled to offer your opinion on every matter. Stand firm in your silence. Let others rush to fill the void. Your power grows in the space between their words. Your silence is your sword. Your restraint is your shield. Wield them with purpose and watch as your influence grows, not through what you say, but through what you choose not to say. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share, because this truth has shaped the minds of every great leader throughout history. The voice inside your head is either your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. There is no middle ground. Here's what most people don't understand. Every moment of every day, you are in conversation with yourself. This endless dialogue shapes your reality more profoundly than any external force. Yet most people let this conversation run wild, undirected, untamed. Think of your inner dialogue from just this morning. What voice greeted you upon waking? Was it the voice of a warrior preparing for conquest, or the voice of a slave seeking more sleep? Was it the tone of a leader reviewing their mission, or the whisper of doubt listing all your uncertainties? But let me ask you this. What if every internal conversation was not just random chatter, but a strategic briefing? What if you could train this inner voice to serve your greatness rather than sabotage it? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and immediate. Begin with this. For the next hour, treat your inner voice as if it belonged to your most trusted general. Would you allow a general to question your every decision, to undermine your authority, to focus on failure rather than strategy? Most people are at war with themselves because they've never learned to command their inner dialogue. They let this voice ramble like a drunk in the streets, spewing doubt, fear, and criticism without direction or purpose. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify the 3 most common phrases your inner voice uses to weaken you. Perhaps it's, "I'm not ready." Maybe it's, "This is too hard," or "They won't accept this." Now, write their replacements. Not affirmations, commands. I act now. I embrace the challenge. I move forward regardless. Consider this. Every time you allow your inner voice to speak the language of weakness, you're not just having thoughts, you're conducting training. You're teaching your mind to default to doubt, to bow before obstacles, to seek escape rather than victory. I can hear the protests, but Marcus, these thoughts come automatically. They feel true. Of course they do. You've been rehearsing them your entire life. But I tell you this, the accuracy of a thought matters less than its utility. Does this thought serve your empire, or does it serve your enemy? The key to mastering your inner dialogue is this. Treat every internal conversation as a military briefing. Would you accept a battle plan focused on all the ways you might fail? Would you tolerate a strategy session that questioned your right to lead? Then why accept these from your own mind? Your inner voice will resist this new command structure. It will try to revert to its old patterns, its familiar doubts, its comfortable criticisms. Recognize these for what they are. Mutiny against your authority. And you know how emperors deal with mutiny. As you progress through these 30 days, you'll face countless moments of internal dialogue. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your command, to establish new patterns, to institute a new regime of mental discipline. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can direct their inner dialogue has an advantage that no external circumstance can neutralize. They become immune to discouragement, resistant to doubt, impervious to the whispers of surrender. Here's your daily protocol. Start each morning by setting the tone of your internal conversation. Before your feet touch the ground, issue your first command, "Today I speak the language of power." Then guard your mental territory as a general guards his camp, with vigilance, with authority, with unwavering attention. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about positive thinking. It's about strategic thinking, about ensuring that every internal conversation moves you toward victory rather than preparing you for defeat. Tomorrow, when the first hint of doubt appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the emperor of your thoughts. Your inner voice is not your master. It is your messenger. Train it accordingly. Stand firm in your mental command center. This is your domain, your territory of absolute authority. Rule it with purpose. The world may be chaotic, but your inner dialogue must be disciplined. The path may be uncertain, but your internal communication must be clear. This is not just about motivation. This is about mental sovereignty. Your inner voice is your first soldier. Train it well, and it will help you conquer worlds. Leave it untrained, and it will lead you to defeat before any battle begins. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has determined the fate of emperors and empires. The first hour of your day is a microcosm of your entire life. As you command these moments, so you command your destiny. Here's what most people don't understand. Your morning is not just the start of your day, it is the foundation of your empire. Every great victory, every significant achievement begins in these crucial first moments when the world still sleeps. Think of your current morning routine. Does it reflect the actions of a leader preparing for conquest or those of a subordinate reacting to the world's demands? Do you seize the day, or does the day seize you? But let me ask you this. What if your morning routine was not just a series of habits, but a daily declaration of power? What if these first moments were your personal war council preparing you for the battles ahead? The method I'm about to share with you is both pragmatic and profound. Begin with this absolute law. The first hour belongs to you, not to the world, not to others' demands, not to the endless stream of information waiting in your devices, to you. Most people surrender their mornings to chaos. They reach for their phones before their feet touch the ground. They allow the world's urgencies to infiltrate their minds before they've established their own command. This is not just weakness, it is strategic surrender. Here is your tactical assignment. Tomorrow you will rise 1 hour earlier than necessary. In this hour, you will follow a warrior's protocol. First, water to awaken the body, then movement to strengthen it, followed by silence to clear the mind. Finally, review your battle plans for the day. Consider this. Every time you snooze your alarm, you're not just losing time, you're training yourself in the art of surrender. Every time you check your phone first thing, you're not just getting information, you're surrendering your mental territory to external forces. I can hear the excuses forming. But Marcus, I'm not a morning person. I need my sleep. I work late. These are the words of someone who has never tasted true power. The power that comes from owning the day's first moments, from setting the tone rather than reacting to it. The key to mastering your mornings is this. Create a routine so compelling that sleep becomes the enemy keeping you from it. Your morning protocol should pull you from bed with the urgency of a commander called to battle. Your body and mind will resist this new order. They will generate excuses, manifest fatigue, create false urgencies. Recognize these for what they are: resistance to your authority. And you know how an emperor deals with resistance. As these 30 days progress, you'll discover something remarkable. The quality of your morning routine directly predicts the quality of your day. Master these first moments, and you master all that follows. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who controls their morning controls their life. This is not motivation. This is strategy. This is not about being an early bird. It's about being a commander of time itself. Here's your daily protocol. Set your wake time and make it non-negotiable. Military precision, no excuses, no exceptions. Then design your first hour as carefully as you would plan a military campaign. Every moment must serve a purpose. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about torturing yourself with early rising. It's about seizing strategic advantage, about ensuring that your day begins with victory rather than compromise. Tomorrow, when your wake time arrives, and it will arrive whether you're ready or not, remember, the first moment of consciousness is your first battlefield. Win here, and you set the tone for every battle that follows. Start with these components: physical awakening through movement, mental clarity through silence, strategic preparation through planning. These are not optional. These are your morning weapons. Some mornings your body will feel heavy, your mind clouded. These are the most important mornings, because discipline isn't tested when it's easy. It's forged in moments of resistance. Your morning routine is your daily declaration of intent. It tells the universe, your body, and your mind who is in command. Make it strong enough to echo through every hour that follows. Stand firm in these first moments. They are your foundation, your launching pad, your daily proof that you are not just living life, you are commanding it. The world may claim your day, but the morning belongs to you. Guard it like the treasure it is. Pay attention to what I'm about to share, because this truth has been paid for with the blood of countless leaders who fell prey to their emotions. Your feelings are not your friends, nor are they your enemies. They are merely weather patterns passing through the sky of your consciousness. Here's what most people don't understand. Emotion is not wisdom. Feeling is not insight. The surge of anger, the sting of fear, the warmth of pride, these are not guidance systems. They are atmospheric conditions that either serve your command or undermine it. Think of your last emotional decision. Perhaps it was words spoken in anger, a commitment made in excitement, a retreat chosen in fear. Did these emotions guide you toward victory, or did they lead you into tactical error? But let me ask you this: what if every emotional surge was not a command to be obeyed, but a message to be analyzed? What if your feelings were not your master, but your intelligence network? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and immediate. Begin with this practice. When an emotion arises, name it, not with judgment, not with attachment, but with the cool observation of a general receiving field intelligence. Ah, this is anger. I see you, fear. Pride, you've arrived. Most people are enslaved by their emotions because they've never learned to separate feeling from action. They believe that because they feel something, they must act on it. This is not wisdom. This is surrender to internal weather. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, choose one emotion that typically commands your actions. Perhaps it's anger at disrespect. Maybe it's fear of judgment or pride that demands defense. When this emotion arises, and it will arise, observe it without acting on it. Just watch. Take notes like a field commander. Consider this: every time you act purely from emotion, you're not just having a feeling, you're reinforcing a chain of command where emotions outrank reason. You're training yourself to be predictable, manipulatable, weak. I can hear the protests, but Marcus, isn't suppressing emotions unnatural, unhealthy? This betrays a fundamental misunderstanding. We're not suppressing emotions. We're mastering them. There's a crucial difference between feeling an emotion and being commanded by it. The key to emotional mastery is this: treat every feeling as information, not instruction. When anger rises, ask, what has this scout discovered? When fear appears, question, what does this sentinel perceive? When pride swells, inquire, what territory feels threatened? Your emotions will still arise. This is natural and necessary, but they will no longer drive your chariot. They will inform your strategy but not determine it, suggest but not command. This is the true meaning of emotional discipline. As you progress through these 30 days, you'll face countless emotional storms. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your command, to prove your sovereignty over your internal weather patterns. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can feel without being controlled by their feelings holds immense power. They become impossible to manipulate through emotional leverage, difficult to unsettle through provocations. Here's your daily protocol. In every emotional surge, implement the observer's stance. Step back. Watch the feeling rise, peak, and fade, all while maintaining your strategic position. This is not suppression. This is mastery. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about becoming strategic, about ensuring that your emotions enrich your life rather than rule it, about maintaining command even in the storm of feeling. Tomorrow, when the first emotional wave hits, and it will hit, remember, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness watching your emotions. Your power lies not in what you feel, but in how you choose to use what you feel. Stand firm in the space between feeling and action. This is your command center, your position of power. Guard it well. The world may trigger emotions, but you decide their significance. The world may provoke feelings, but you determine their influence on your actions. Your emotions are your intelligence network, not your commanding officers. Let them inform you, but never let them command you. This is the discipline that separates leaders from followers, victors from victims. Stay strong in your observation. Post. Watch the emotional weather pass through, but never surrender your command to the storm. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has preserved the sanity of every great leader throughout history. Your sphere of control is smaller than you think, but your power within it is greater than you imagine. Here's what most people don't understand. Most of your suffering comes not from external events, but from your attempts to control what cannot be controlled. You exhaust your forces fighting battles that cannot be won while leaving your true territory undefended. Think of your current struggles. How many of them come from trying to control other people's thoughts, their decisions, their actions? How much energy do you waste trying to command the weather of circumstance? But let me ask you this. What if every situation was divided into two clear territories, what you can control and what you cannot? If your power grew not by expanding your territory, but by fortifying it. The method I'm about to share with you is both liberating and demanding. Begin with this exercise. Take your current greatest concern and divide it into two columns. In one, list everything about the situation you can directly control. In the other, everything you cannot. Be ruthlessly honest. Most people live in constant anxiety because they've never learned to make this crucial distinction. They try to control the marketplace, the weather, the opinions of others, the flow of time itself. This is not ambition. This is delusion. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify 3 situations where you're expending energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Perhaps it's someone's reaction to your work. Maybe it's the timing of an opportunity, or the decisions of those in authority. Now consciously withdraw your forces from these territories. Consider this. Every moment you spend trying to control the uncontrollable is a moment stolen from mastering what you actually can control. Every unit of energy invested in changing others' minds is energy diverted from strengthening your own. Position. I can hear the objections. But Marcus, if I accept what I cannot control, aren't I surrendering? Becoming passive? No. You're becoming strategic. The greatest generals know which battles can be won and which territories must be conceded. The key to mastering this principle is this: focus with absolute intensity on your true sphere of control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your preparations. These are your territories. Master them completely instead of reaching for what lies beyond your command. Your mind will resist this reallocation of resources. It will generate scenarios, plan speeches, rehearse arguments, all aimed at controlling what cannot be controlled. Recognize these for what they are: distractions from your true work. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless temptations to extend beyond your sphere of control. Each one is an opportunity to practice discrimination, to strengthen your strategic focus, to reinforce your true boundaries of power. Remember this fundamental truth: the person who has mastered their own domain is infinitely more powerful than the one who tries to master everything. This is not philosophy. This is strategy. Here's your daily protocol. Before engaging with any situation, ask yourself, what here is truly under my control? Then focus your entire force on that element. Let everything else be what it will be. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about becoming passive. It's about becoming precise, strategic, focused, about ensuring that your power is concentrated where it can actually make a difference. Tomorrow, when you face your first challenge, and you will face many, remember, you cannot control the waves, but you can master your ship. You cannot command the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Stand firm within your true territory. This is your domain, your seat of power. Guard it well and let the rest go. Some will call this surrender. Let them, while they exhaust themselves. Trying to control the ocean's tides, you'll be building harbors, strengthening ships, training crews, mastering what can actually be mastered. Your power grows not by expanding into impossible territories, but by deepening your mastery of possible ones. This is not retreat. This is tactical brilliance. Focus your forces where they can actually achieve victory. Withdraw them from battles that cannot be won. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of strategic wisdom. The world may spin beyond your control, but your response to it, that is your empire. Rule it well. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share, because this truth has determined the success of every great strategist in history. Your focus is not just a mental state, it is your primary weapon, and like any weapon, it must be sharpened, maintained, and wielded with precision. Here is what most people don't understand. In a world engineered for distraction, sustained attention has become the rarest form of power. While others scatter their forces across 1,000 fronts, the master of focus concentrates their strength at a single point. Think of your attention in the past hour. How many times did your mind desert its post? How often did you allow external forces to redirect your mental troops? Each distraction was not just a moment lost. It was a position surrendered. But let me ask you this. What if every moment of focus was not just concentration, but conquest? What if your attention was not just a mental quality, but a weapon of war against mediocrity? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and urgently relevant. Begin with this. For the next hour, choose one task, one single point of focus. Guard this territory as if your empire depended on it, because in truth, it does. Most people have never experienced true focus because they've never trained for it. They mistake busyness for effectiveness, motion for progress. Their attention scatters like troops without a commander, responding to every flash of movement, every distant sound. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify your 3 most important tasks. Not urgent, not easy, important for each year. 1. Establish a period of absolute focus, 30 minutes where nothing else exists. No devices, no interruptions, no mental desertion. Consider this. Every time you allow your attention to be divided, you're not just losing focus. You're training yourself in the art of distraction. You're teaching your mind to be weak, scattered, ineffective. I can hear the protests. But, Marcus, my world demands multitasking. There's too much to handle. This is the excuse of someone who has never known the power of concentrated force. No great battle was ever won by dividing forces equally across all fronts. The key to mastering presence is this: treat your attention as you would treat an elite military unit. You wouldn't send your best soldiers to chase every rabbit that crosses their path. Don't allow your focus to do the same. Your mind will resist this new discipline. It will generate emergencies, remember urgent tasks, create compelling distractions. Recognize these for what they are: mutiny against your command. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless attempts to breach your focus. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your mental fortifications, to prove your commitment to presence, to demonstrate your command over your own consciousness. Remember this fundamental truth: the person who can maintain unwavering focus in a world of chaos holds immense power. They become capable of depths that the scattered mind cannot fathom, achievements that the distracted mind cannot imagine. Here's your daily protocol. Before beginning any important work, establish your perimeter. Clear your space, physically and digitally. Set your time parameters. Then guard your focus with the vigilance of a sentinel at their post. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about becoming a machine. It's about becoming a master, about ensuring that your mind serves your purpose rather than wandering aimlessly in the fields of distraction. Tomorrow, when the first distraction appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not obligated to attend every battle your mind announces. Your attention is your empire. Choose carefully where you deploy it. Stand firm in your focus. This is your territory, your domain of power. Guard it well. Some will call this extreme. Let them, while they fragment their forces across 1,000 minor skirmishes, you will concentrate yours on the battles that matter. Your attention is your army. Deploy it with purpose. Guard it with vigilance. Use it with precision. This is not just about productivity. This is about power. Focus is not just a practice. It is a position of strength. In a world drowning in distraction, the ability to maintain presence is not just valuable. It is vital. Stay strong at your post. The world may demand your attention, but you decide where to direct it. This is not just concentration. This is conquest. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share, because this truth has determined the success of every great strategist in history. Your focus is not just a mental state, it is your primary weapon. And like any weapon, it must be sharpened, maintained, and wielded with precision. Here's what most people don't understand. In a world engineered for distraction, sustained attention has become the rarest form of power. While others scatter their forces across 1,000 fronts, the master of focus concentrates their strength at a single point. Think of your attention in the past hour. How many times did your mind desert its post? How often did you allow external forces to redirect your mental troops? Each distraction was not just a moment lost, it was a position surrendered. But let me ask you this: what if every moment of focus was not just concentration, but conquest? What if your attention was not just a mental quality, but a weapon of war against mediocrity? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and urgently relevant. Begin with this. For the next hour, choose one task, one single point of focus. Guard this territory as if your empire depended on it, because in truth, it does. Most people have never experienced true focus because they've never trained for it. They mistake busyness for effectiveness, motion for progress. Their attention scatters like troops without a commander, responding to every flash of movement, every distant sound. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify your 3 most important tasks. Not urgent, not easy, important for each year. 1. Establish a period of absolute focus, 30 minutes where nothing else exists. No devices, no interruptions, no mental desertion. Consider this. Every time you allow your attention to be divided, you're not just losing focus. You're training yourself in the art of distraction. You're teaching your mind to be weak, scattered, ineffective. I can hear the protests. But, Marcus, my world demands multitasking. There's too much to handle. This is the excuse of someone who has never known the power of concentrated force. No great battle was ever won by dividing forces equally across all fronts. The key to mastering presence is this: treat your attention as you would treat an elite military unit. You wouldn't send your best soldiers to chase every rabbit that crosses their path. Don't allow your focus to do the same. Your mind will resist this new discipline. It will generate emergencies, remember urgent tasks, create compelling distractions. Recognize these for what they are: mutiny against your command. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless attempts to breach your focus. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your mental fortifications, to prove your commitment to presence, to demonstrate your command over your own consciousness. Remember this fundamental truth: the person who can maintain unwavering focus in a world of chaos holds immense power. They become capable of depths that the scattered mind cannot fathom, achievements that the distracted mind cannot imagine. Here's your daily protocol. Before beginning any important work, establish your perimeter. Clear your space, physically and digitally. Set your time parameters. Then guard your focus with the vigilance of a sentinel at their post. Let me be clear about something. This practice isn't about becoming a machine. It's about becoming a master, about ensuring that your mind serves your purpose rather than wandering aimlessly in the fields of distraction. Tomorrow, when the first distraction appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not obligated to attend every battle your mind announces. Your attention is your empire. Choose carefully where you deploy it. Stand firm in your focus. This is your territory, your domain of power. Guard it well. Some will call this extreme. Let them, while they fragment their forces across 1,000 minor skirmishes, you will concentrate yours on the battles that matter. Your attention is your army. Deploy it with purpose. Guard it with vigilance. Use it with precision. This is not just about productivity. This is about power. Focus is not just a practice, it is a position of strength. In a world drowning in a distraction, the ability to maintain presence is not just valuable, it is vital. Stay strong at your post. The world may demand your attention, but you decide where to direct it. This is not just concentration, this is conquest. Listen carefully to what I'm about to share, because this truth has transformed the greatest warriors into legends. Your emotions are not chains to be broken, but raw materials to be forged. The master doesn't suppress the fire. They learn to forge with it. Here's what most people don't understand. Every powerful emotion contains within it the energy for transformation. Anger holds the force of action. Fear carries the wisdom of caution. Even despair contains the seeds of rebirth. But most waste these resources, letting them burn uncontrolled, or trying to extinguish them completely. Think of your most challenging emotion. Perhaps it's anger at injustice, frustration with progress, anxiety about the future. What if these weren't obstacles to be overcome, but fuel to be harnessed? But let me ask you this. What if every emotional surge was not a disruption of your power, but a raw material for its increase? What if your strongest feelings were not your weakness, but your untapped strength? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and revolutionary. Begin with this practice. When a strong emotion arises, don't fight it and don't flee from it. Instead ask, how can this serve my empire? This is the first step of emotional alchemy. Most people remain weak because they only know two responses to strong emotion: expression or suppression. They either let their feelings rule them or try to bury them alive. Both approaches waste precious energy that could be transformed. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify your most frequent challenging emotion. Now, create its transformation protocol. If it's anger, channel it into focused action. If it's fear, transmute it into preparation. If it's frustration, convert it into determination. Consider this. Every time you simply react to an emotion or try to suppress it, you're not just experiencing a feeling, you're wasting a resource. Like a general who burns his supplies rather than using them to fuel his campaign. I can hear the objections. But Marcus, these emotions are too strong, too disruptive to be useful. This is the voice of someone who has never learned the art of emotional alchemy. The stronger the emotion, the more power it contains, if you know how to transform it. The key to mastering emotional alchemy is this. Treat every strong feeling as raw energy seeking direction. Your task is not to eliminate this energy, but to redirect it toward your chosen purpose. Like a smith working with molten metal, your role is to shape, not destroy. Your emotions will resist this new approach. They're accustomed to either running wild or being suppressed. The middle path, transformation, requires both strength and subtlety. This is the art of internal alchemy. As these 30 days progress, you'll encounter many emotional storms. Each one is not just a challenge to be overcome, but a resource to be transformed. This is how masters are made, not by avoiding emotional fire, but by learning to forge with it. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can transform their emotions rather than being transformed by them holds immense power. They become capable of using everything, even their greatest challenges, as fuel for their advancement. Here's your daily protocol. When an emotional surge occurs, implement the alchemist's sequence. First, name it, then claim it. Take full responsibility for this energy. Finally, aim it. Direct this force toward your chosen purpose. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about emotional control in the conventional sense. It's about emotional mastery, the ability to take any emotional state and transform it into useful energy. Tomorrow, when a challenging emotion arises, and it will arise, remember, you are not at the mercy of your feelings. You are the alchemist of your internal world. Your task is not to eliminate emotional fire, but to learn to forge with it. Stand firm in your role as emotional alchemist. This is your laboratory, your forge, your domain of transformation. Some will tell you to just let go of negative emotions. Let them. While they waste energy trying to discard their emotional fuel, you'll be learning to transform it into power. Your emotions are your raw materials. Your mind is your forge. Your will is your hammer. This is not just therapy, this is alchemy. The world may trigger various emotions, but you decide what these feelings become. This is not just about coping. This is about transforming. Stay strong in your forge. Every emotion that enters your awareness is raw material for transformation. Nothing needs to be wasted. Everything can be transformed. This is the true path of the warrior philosopher, not to become emotionless, but to become a master of emotional alchemy, to turn every internal storm into fuel for your fire. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has determined the success or failure of every great endeavor in history. Self-control is not a quality you possess. It is a battle you win, one decision at a time. Here's what most people don't understand. The future never arrives all at once. It comes to you in single moments, individual choices, separate decisions. Yet most people try to win tomorrow's battles today, overwhelming themselves with the weight of all that must be done. Think of your last failure of self-control. Was it truly a massive collapse, or was it one small decision that led to another, then another? Did you fail all at once, or did you surrender your power one choice at a time? But let me ask you this. What if every moment of self-control was not a burden to bear, but a battle to be won? What if your power grew not through grand declarations, but through small victories? The method I'm about to share with you is both simple and profound. Begin with this. For the next hour, make each decision as if it were the only decision you needed to make today, not the first of many, not part of a pattern, the only one. Most people fail at self-control because they try to win too many battles at once. They think about all the meals they must resist, all the habits they must change, all the impulses they must control. This is not strategy. This is surrender through overwhelm. Here's your tactical assignment. Today, identify your 3 most challenging moments for self-control. Now isolate them. Don't think of them as connected. Each one is its own battle, with its own terrain, its own requirements, its own victory conditions. Consider this. Every time you think about all the self-control you'll need in the future, you're not just planning, you're paralyzing yourself. Like a general so concerned with future campaigns that he fails to win today's battle. I can hear the protests. But Marcus, I need to think ahead. I need to prepare for all challenges. Yes, prepare. But execute one decision at a time. The warrior who thinks of 1,000 strikes cannot deliver one with full force. The key to mastering self-control is this. Treat every decision as if it were the only decision you need to make. Not the first of many, not the hardest of many, the only one. This is how battles are won, through complete focus on the present engagement. Your mind will resist this approach. It will try to remind you of all the other challenges ahead, all the other moments requiring control. Recognize this for what it is: distraction from the current battle. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless moments requiring self-control. Each one is not part of an endless chain. It is a single battle, complete in itself, worthy of your full attention and strength. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can focus their entire will on a single decision, making it with full power and clarity, holds immense strength. They become capable of consistency, not through strain, but through precision. Here's your daily protocol. When faced with a moment requiring self-control, implement the warrior's focus. Clear your mind of past failures and future challenges. This moment, this decision, this battle, nothing else exists. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming precise, about ensuring that each decision gets your full attention, your complete strength, your total command. Tomorrow, when the first challenge appears, and it will appear, remember, you don't need to win all battles today. You need to win this one, right now, that's all. Stand firm in the present decision. This is your territory, your moment of power. Guard it well. Some will say this approach is too simple. Let them. While they exhaust themselves thinking about 1,000 moments of control, you'll be mastering the only one that matters, the present one. Your power exists in the current decision, not in yesterday's victories or defeats, not in tomorrow's. Challenges, here, now. This choice. Stay strong in the present battle. The past may whisper of failure, the future may loom with challenges, but right now, in this moment, you have all the power you need to make one good decision. This is the warrior's way. Not to carry the weight of all battles at once, but to bring full force to the current engagement. This is not just about self-control. This is about self-command. The world may demand 1,000 decisions, but you make them one at a time. This is not weakness. This is tactical brilliance. Listen carefully to what I'm about to share, because this truth has determined the fate of every great leader throughout history. Your time is not just a resource. It is your primary territory. And like any territory, it must be fortified, defended, and governed with absolute authority. Here's what most people don't understand. Time is not just passing. It is being invaded. Every notification, every quick question, every unplanned interruption is not just a distraction. It is an incursion into your sovereign territory. Think of your calendar from yesterday. How many invasions did you allow? How many times did you surrender your time to forces that did not serve your empire? Each interruption was not just a moment lost. It was territory surrendered without resistance. But let me ask you this. What if your time was not just something to be managed, but a kingdom to be defended? What if every hour was not just a measurement, but a border to be protected? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and urgently needed. Begin with this. For the next day, treat your time as you would treat a fortified city. Build walls, establish checkpoints, create clear protocols for what gets in and what stays out. Most people live with completely permeable borders around their time. They allow any request, any distraction, any person to cross their temporal boundaries at will. This is not flexibility. This is the absence of governance. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, establish 3 non-negotiable time territories. Perhaps it's the first hour of your morning. Maybe it's your deep work period or your strategic planning time. Mark these boundaries not in sand, but in stone. Consider this. Every time you allow your time boundaries to be breached, you're not just losing minutes. You're weakening your borders. You're teaching the world that your territories can be invaded at will. I can hear the objections, but Marcus, I need to be available, responsive, flexible. This is the excuse of someone who has never known the power of protected time. No great work was ever accomplished in the gaps between interruptions. The key to mastering time boundaries is this. Treat your schedule as you would treat a military campaign. Every hour must be accounted for. Every activity must justify its claim on your territory. Every interruption must be treated as what it is, an attempted invasion. Your current habits will resist these new fortifications. People will test your boundaries. Emergencies will arise to challenge your resolve. Recognize these for what they are, tests of your sovereignty. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless attempts to breach your time walls. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your boundaries, to demonstrate your command, to prove your commitment to temporal sovereignty. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can protect their time holds immense power. They become capable of depth that the constantly interrupted cannot fathom, achievements that the ever-available cannot imagine. Here's your daily protocol. Before each week begins, establish your time territories. Mark your boundaries. Set your guards. Then defend these borders with the vigilance of a commander protecting their realm. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about becoming inaccessible. It's about becoming intentional, about ensuring that your time serves your purpose rather than being surrendered to every passing demand. Tomorrow, when the first invasion attempt comes, and it will come, remember, you are not obligated to open your gates to every request. Your time is your empire. Choose carefully what crosses its borders. Stand firm in your temporal sovereignty. These are your hours, your minutes, your territory of power. Guard them well. Some will call you rigid. Let them. While they surrender their time to every invading force, you will be building works of lasting value within your protected walls. Your schedule is your battle plan. Your boundaries are your walls. Your no is your shield. This is not just about productivity. This is about power. Time management is not just a skill. It is a form of sovereignty. In a world that constantly demands access, the ability to protect your time is not just valuable, it is vital. Create protocols for different types of interruptions. Like a city with different gates for different purposes, establish clear paths for what truly matters while blocking what doesn't. Understand this. Every time you say yes to something, you are simultaneously saying no to everything else you could do in that time. Make these trades consciously, strategically, like a ruler making treaties. Your time boundaries are not suggestions, they are laws. Enforce them first with yourself, then with others. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship of your most precious resource. Stay strong at your temporal gates. The world may demand your time, but you decide what crosses your borders. This is not just organization. This is empire. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has forged every great warrior throughout history. Comfort is not your ally, it is your enemy in disguise. The more you run from discomfort, the weaker you become. Here's what most people don't understand. Discomfort is not something to be avoided. It is a training ground to be sought out. Every voluntary hardship you embrace today is a forced hardship you can endure tomorrow. Think of your current relationship with comfort. How many decisions do you make to avoid discomfort? How often do you choose the easier path, the softer option, the more pleasant route? Each of these choices is not just a preference, it is a surrender of strength. But let me ask you this. What if every discomfort was not an enemy to be avoided, but a teacher to be embraced? What if your power grew not through seeking ease, but through purposefully embracing difficulty? The method I'm about to share with you is both ancient and eternal. Begin with this practice. Each day, deliberately choose one comfort to abandon. Not as punishment, but as training. This is how warriors are forged. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort, building ever softer nests, creating ever more pleasant environments. They mistake this for progress, not realizing they're actually weakening themselves with every step toward comfort. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify 3 voluntary hardships to embrace. Perhaps it's a cold shower first thing in morning, maybe it's fasting until sunset, or walking in weather others hide from. Choose your challenges, then face them deliberately. Consider this. Every time you choose comfort over voluntary hardship, you're not just seeking pleasure, you're practicing weakness. You're training yourself to retreat when you should advance, to surrender when you should fight. I can hear the protests. But Marcus, isn't life hard enough? Why seek more discomfort? This is the voice of someone who has never understood the power of voluntary hardship. What you choose freely has a different effect than what is forced upon you. The key to mastering voluntary discomfort is this. Start small, but be consistent. Don't try to become an ascetic overnight. Choose one discomfort and master it, then add another. This is how strength is built, through progressive, deliberate challenge. Your body and mind will resist this practice. They will generate excuses, create distractions, suggest more pleasant alternatives. Recognize these for what they are, the voices of weakness seeking to maintain their control. As these 30 days progress, you'll face many opportunities to choose. Comfort over growth. Each one is not just a decision, it is a declaration of who you are becoming. Choose carefully. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who can embrace voluntary discomfort holds immense power. They become impossible to manipulate through pleasure or pain, difficult to control through comfort or discomfort. Here's your daily protocol. Each morning, identify your voluntary hardship for the day. Embrace it fully, not with resignation, but with purpose. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about self-torture. It's about self-strengthening, about ensuring that comfort remains your servant rather than becoming your master. Tomorrow, when the first opportunity for voluntary hardship appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not just experiencing discomfort. You are building resilience. You are forging strength. You are preparing for greater battles ahead. Stand firm in your chosen discomfort. This is your training ground, your forge, your path to power. Some will call this unnecessary suffering. Let them. While they grow softer in their comfort, you will grow stronger through chosen challenge. Your voluntary hardships are your teachers. Your discomforts are your training. Your challenges are your path to power. This is not just about endurance. This is about transformation. Choose the cold shower over the warm one. Pick the harder task over the easier option. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. These are not just choices. They are declarations of war against weakness. Understand this. Every comfort you can voluntarily abandon becomes a weapon that cannot be used against you. Every hardship you willingly embrace becomes a shield against future suffering. Your chosen discomforts are not your enemies. They are your allies in the battle against weakness. Embrace them with purpose, face them with resolve, use them with wisdom. Stay strong in your voluntary hardships. The world may offer you comfort, but you decide whether to accept it. This is not just training. This is transformation. Listen carefully to what I'm about to share, because this truth has sustained every great leader through their darkest hours. Purpose is not just a direction. It is armor. When you know what you serve, temptation loses its power and discipline becomes natural. Here's what most people don't understand. Self-control without purpose is mere constraint, but self-control, driven by purpose, becomes unstoppable force. The difference between these two is not in the action, but in the underlying reason. Think of your last moment of resistance. Was it fueled by mere discipline or by dedication to something greater? Did you resist temptation because you should, or because something more important demanded it? But let me ask you this. What if every act of self-control was not just restraint, but reverence for your chosen purpose? What if discipline was not a cage that holds you back, but a vehicle carrying you toward your highest calling? The method I'm about to teach you is both profound and practical. Begin with this. Take your strongest purpose, the cause that moves you most deeply, and write it in terms so clear that a child could understand. This is your banner, your battle cry, your reason for mastery. Most people fail at self-control because they focus on what they're denying rather than what they're serving. They see discipline as deprivation rather than dedication. This is not wisdom. This is warfare against yourself. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify 3 acts of self-control you regularly struggle with. Now, connect each one directly to your purpose. How does mastering this impulse serve your higher cause? Make this connection explicit and personal. Consider this. Every time you exercise self-control without clear purpose, you're not just practicing discipline. You're engaging in empty ritual. Like a soldier who trains without knowing what he's fighting for, your resolve will crumble when truly tested. I can hear the objections. But Marcus, I have many purposes, many goals. How can I choose just one? This is the voice of someone who has never known the power of singular dedication. Multiple purposes divide your forces. One supreme purpose multiplies them. The key to purpose-driven self-control is this. Make your purpose bigger than your impulses. When what you serve is greater than what you crave, discipline becomes natural. Restraint becomes obvious. Choice becomes clear. Your current habits will test this new allegiance. Old impulses will arise, questioning your purpose, suggesting easier paths. Recognize these for what they are, rebellion against your chosen cause. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless moments where immediate pleasure competes with ultimate purpose. Each one is not just a test of will, it is a chance to demonstrate what you truly serve. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who knows what they serve becomes unstoppable. Their self-control is not fueled by mere discipline, but by dedication to something greater than themselves. Here's your daily protocol. Before facing any challenge to your self-control, remind yourself of your purpose, not as a mantra, but as a battle cry. This is not about resistance. This is about allegiance. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about finding some vague meaning in life. It's about identifying what you serve with such clarity that it becomes a source of strength, a wellspring of discipline, a foundation for every choice. Tomorrow, when temptation appears, and it will appear, remember, you are not just saying no to something. You are saying yes to something greater. Your purpose is not just a goal. It is your commanding officer. Stand firm in your chosen cause. This is your banner, your reason, your source of strength. Guard it well. Some will call this idealistic. Let them. While they drift without direction, you will move with the unstoppable force of dedicated purpose. Your purpose is not just a destination. It is your compass, your guide, your commander. This is not just about having a goal. This is about serving something greater than yourself. Understand this. Every act of self-control aligned with purpose becomes not deprivation but dedication, not constraint but contribution, not limitation but service to something greater. Your purpose must be clear enough to state in a single sentence, yet profound enough to sustain a lifetime of discipline. This is not philosophy. This is practical power. When purpose is clear, discipline follows naturally. When you know what you serve, you know what to refuse. This is not just about saying no. This is about serving yes. Stay strong in your chosen purpose. The world may offer many directions, but you have chosen yours. This is not just determination. This is dedication. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this truth has preserved the sanity of every great leader throughout history. Reputation is merely what others believe about you. Character is what you know to be true. One is shadow, the other substance. Here's what most people don't understand. The pursuit of reputation is a form of slavery. Every action shaped by others' opinions, every decision made for public approval, these are chains you willingly wear. True power lies in character, built in private, tested by adversity. Think of your recent decisions. How many were influenced by what others might think? How often did you choose based on appearance rather than principle? Each of these moments was not just a choice, it was a surrender of sovereignty. But let me ask you this, what if every action was judged not by its effect on your reputation, but by its alignment with your principles? What if your power came not from others' approval, but from your own unwavering character? The method I'm about to share with you is both liberating and demanding. Begin with this. For the next day, make every decision as if no one would ever know about it. No witnesses, no recognition, no judgment. Only you and your principles remain. Most people live as prisoners to perception, constantly adjusting their behavior to manage others' opinions. They mistake reputation management for character development. This is not wisdom. This is weakness. Here is your tactical assignment. Today, identify 3 actions you perform primarily for reputation. Perhaps it's posting about your achievements. Maybe it's hiding your struggles, or pretending to enjoy what you secretly despise. Now realign these actions with your true character. Consider this. Every time you act for reputation rather than character, you're not just seeking approval, you're weakening your foundation. Like a general who plans battles to look good rather than to win, you ensure your own defeat. I can hear the protests. But Marcus, reputation matters in this world. We need others' good opinion. This is the voice of someone who has never known the power of unshakable character. When your character is strong, reputation follows naturally or becomes irrelevant. The key to mastering this principle is this. Build your character as if no one was watching, yet live it as if everyone was, not for their approval, but as a demonstration of unwavering principle. This is how lasting power is built. Your current habits will resist this shift. The urge to manage appearances, to seek approval, to adjust your actions for others' eyes, these patterns run deep. Recognize them for what they are, distractions from true development. As these 30 days progress, you'll face countless temptations to choose reputation over character. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your foundation, to prove your commitment, to principle over perception. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who acts from character rather than for reputation holds immense power. They become impossible to manipulate through praise or criticism, immune to the winds of public opinion. Here's your daily protocol. Before each action, ask yourself, would I do this if no one would ever know? Then act based on the answer, regardless of who's watching. This is not about secrecy, it's about sovereignty. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about ignoring others' perspectives, it's about ensuring that their opinions don't control your actions. About building a character so strong that reputation becomes its natural shadow, not its driving force. Tomorrow, when the temptation to manage appearances arises, and it will arise, remember, you are not your reputation. You are your character. Your power lies not in what others think of you, but in what you know to be true. Stand firm in your principles. These are your foundation, your true source of power. Guard them well. Some will say reputation is everything. Let them. While they exhaust themselves managing appearances, you'll be building something unshakable. Character. Your character is your true empire. Your principles are your real power. Your integrity is your actual influence. This is not just about being good, this is about being unshakable. Understand this, every time you choose character over reputation, you're not just making a decision, you're building a foundation that no external force can destroy. Your reputation may rise or fall with the opinions of others, but your character remains steadfast. This is not weakness, this is true strength. Stay strong in your principles. The world may judge by appearances, but you know better. This is not just integrity, this is invincibility. Listen carefully to what I'm about to share, because this truth has determined the growth of every great leader throughout history. A day unexamined is a battle unwon. The evening review is not just reflection, it is reconnaissance for tomorrow's victories. Here's what most people don't understand. Self-awareness without systematic review is mere glimpsing in mirrors. True power comes from regular, ruthless examination of your actions, decisions, and their consequences. This is how empires are built, through daily accounting. Think of your last evening. Did you review your day with the thoroughness of a general reviewing his troops? Did you examine your victories and defeats with the sharp eye of a strategist? Or did you simply let the day fade into memory, its lessons lost forever? But let me ask you this. What if every evening review was not just reflection, but preparation for conquest? What if your self-examination was not just about the past, but about arming yourself for future victories? The method I'm about to teach you is both ancient and powerful. Begin with this. Each evening, before you rest, conduct a full review of your day, not as a judge, but as a general assessing a campaign. What territories did you gain? Where did your defenses fail? What intelligence did you gather about your own strengths and weaknesses? Most people end their days in mental chaos, carrying unexamined victories and defeats into their sleep. They mistake remembering for reviewing, feeling for analyzing. This is not wisdom. This is warfare without strategy. Here's your tactical assignment. Tonight, conduct your review in 3 phases. First, examine your victories, what went well and why. Second, analyze your defeats. Where did you fail and what was the cause? Third, prepare your battle plan for tomorrow based on today's intelligence. Consider this. Every evening you spend without reviewing your day is not just time lost, it's intelligence wasted. Like a general who fights battles but never studies them, you ensure that the same mistakes will be repeated, the same weaknesses exploited. I can hear the objections. But Marcus, I'm too tired in the evening. I just want to rest. This is the voice of someone who has never understood the power of strategic review. The most important analysis happens not when you're fresh, but when the day's battles are still warm in memory. The key to mastering the evening review is this. Create a systematic approach. Don't just think about your day, interrogate it. Question every victory, examine every defeat, analyze every decision. This is how wisdom is built, through deliberate examination. Your mind will resist this discipline. It will want to gloss over failures, exaggerate successes, avoid deep examination. Recognize these tendencies for what they are, enemies of growth. As these 30 days progress, you'll accumulate a wealth of daily intelligence about yourself. Each evening review adds to your strategic knowledge, building a command center of self-awareness that becomes increasingly powerful. Remember this fundamental truth. The person who reviews their day like a general reviews a battle holds immense power. They learn not just from victories, but from defeats, not just from successes, but from failures. Here's your daily protocol. Set aside the last 30 minutes of your day for review. No distractions, no excuses. This is your daily intelligence briefing with yourself. Make it sacred. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about self-judgment. It's about self-knowledge. About ensuring that every day, whether victory or defeat, serves your growth rather than just passing into obscurity. Tomorrow, when evening comes, and it will come, remember, you are not just ending a day. You are conducting a strategic review that will shape all the days that follow. Stand firm in your evening examination. This is your war room, your strategy center, your command post for tomorrow's victories. Some will say this level of review is excessive. Let them. While they repeat the same patterns day after day, you will be learning, adapting, growing stronger with each sunset. Your evening review is your tactical advantage. Your self-examination is your strategic edge. Your daily analysis is your path to power. This is not just reflection. This is reconnaissance. Understand this. Every evening review makes you stronger. Every examined day builds your wisdom. Every analyzed defeat prevents future failures. This is how mastery is built. One evening review at a time. Your daily review must be as thorough as a general's battle assessment. Cover all territories, thoughts, actions, decisions, emotions. Leave no aspect of the day unexamined. Stay strong. In your evening discipline, the world may rush forward without reflection, but you know better. This is not just analysis. This is artillery for tomorrow's victories. Pay close attention to what I'm about to share, because this final truth ties together everything we've discussed. Identity is not something you discover. It is something you forge. And after these 30 days, you are not just practicing self-control. You are becoming self-control embodied. Here's what most people don't understand. True transformation happens not through isolated actions, but through the forging of a new identity. You don't just do things differently, you become different. This is how lasting change is created, through the rebirth of the self. Think of who you were 30 days ago. How many battles have you fought since then? How many victories have you claimed? How many defeats have you learned from? Each of these moments wasn't just an event. It was a stroke of the hammer, forging your new identity. But let me ask you this. What if every practice we've discussed wasn't just a technique, but a thread in the fabric of who you are becoming? What if self-control wasn't something you do, but something you embody? The method I'm about to share with you is the culmination of all we've covered. Begin with this understanding. You are no longer someone trying to gain self-control. You are self-control incarnate. This is not affirmation. This is recognition of what you've become. Most people fail at lasting change because they focus on actions without understanding identity. They try to do different things instead of becoming a different person. This is not transformation. This is temporary adjustment. Here is your final tactical assignment. Today, write the story of your transformation, not as wishful thinking, but as historical document. Detail who you were, the battles you fought, and most importantly, who you have become. This is not just reflection. This is declaration. Consider this. Every practice you've mastered, every challenge you've faced, every victory you've claimed, these are not just experiences. They are evidence of your new identity. Like a warrior who no longer needs to think about wielding his sword, self-control has become your natural state. I can hear the doubts, but Marcus, what about my failures, my ongoing struggles? These are not evidence against your transformation. They are the final tests of your new identity. Even an emperor faces rebellions. This doesn't make him less an emperor. The key to embodying this unshakable identity is this: act not from effort, but from essence. Don't try to control yourself. Express your nature as one who is in control. This is how lasting power is maintained. Your old self will make final attempts to resurface. Old habits will try to reassert themselves. old doubts will seek to undermine. Your new identity. Recognize these for what they are, the death throes of who you used to be. As you move forward from these 30 days, you'll face new challenges, new tests, new battlefields. Face them not as someone seeking to maintain control, but as someone whose very nature is control. Remember this fundamental truth: the person who has forged self-control into their identity holds immense power. They no longer fight against themselves, they express themselves. They no longer resist temptation, they transcend it. Here's your continuing protocol. Each morning, remind yourself not of what you must do, but of who you have become. This is not motivation. This is recognition of reality. Let me be absolutely clear. This practice isn't about perfection. It's about identity, about ensuring that self-control is not just what you do, but who you are. Every choice, every action, every moment flows from this core truth. Tomorrow, when challenges arise, and they will arise, remember, you are not trying to be disciplined. You are discipline embodied. You are not working on self-control. You are self-control manifested. Stand firm in your new identity. This is not just who you're becoming. This is who you are. Guard it not with effort, but with the natural expression of your transformed nature. Some will say people don't really change. Let them. While they remain trapped in old identities, you have forged yourself anew. This is not just change. This is transformation. Your identity is your ultimate power. Your transformed nature is your true strength. Your embodied self-control is your unshakable foundation. This is not just about doing. This is about being. Understand this. Every test you face from this day forward is not a challenge to your self-control. It is an opportunity to express your nature. Every choice is not a battle. It is a declaration of who you are. Your journey of these 30 days has not just taught you self-control, it has forged you into self-control itself. This is not endpoint. This is beginning. Stay strong in your transformed identity. The world may test you, but you know who you are. This is not just completion. This is commencement. The work is done. The forge has cooled. The transformation is complete. Now go forth and be who you have become.